All
There you
right,
go.
there we go. Okay, so this is our last team call for 2016. This is TD5. Laura's trying to connect, but the link's not working for her. Um, and I'm super excited because we have all of our new teammates on the call. We have Janine and Rebecca and Jason and Susan, and Max is on the line. I see.
Hey, how's it going, folks?
Hey, Max, how are you?
I am doing all right. Multitasking as usual. How
I
you
was gonna
doing?
say, I love it. We always see you driving. It always scares the poop out of me, but I
Yep,
like
that's the
it.
mom in you.
Hey, well use of your time. I like that, of the commute time.
Hmm.
So Janine was first on the call, so I'm going to give her the floor. And since this is your first call with the team, Janine, I know you connected with some of us at the retreat, but I know Jason and Rebecca haven't met you and don't know about you. So if you could tell us a little bit about you, your business, all the exciting things that you have going on, and kind of where you are in your checkpoints for the year.
Well, we're this month we're finalizing all the legal agreements. I signed the lease yesterday with the landlord for
Yay!
control
Yes.
the facilities now, and he's super nice and very open to my changes that I want to make. So I was really excited about that. And also I'm moving. So right now we had committed to this trip to Yosemite with friends. And then when I get back, we have Christmas, then I'm packing and we're moving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's so from San Clemente to Lake Elsinore, which is still far away from my business, but I'm closer to my daughter, who I'm expecting my first grandchild next month.
Congrats.
So, I have that going on, and so yeah, a lot, and the TEP, the 3-element program, that is one of my big 5, launching that this year. And interesting that interview that Todd did with the Keto OS. I'm now researching all the papers that was done with that, because of course there's a very close connection with that, my Alzheimer's program. So I feel like I'm going 10 different directions at once, but I feel things I've got a handle. I'm overwhelmed, but not out of control. So, yeah.
You're very focused. Could you tell the group a little bit more? Because I know your story, but I don't know that anybody else really understands kind of where you are. Talk about you and your partner, the splits, kind of where you are in your brick and mortar, and then talk a little bit about, sorry, people are texting me now. They can't get on the call. And your Alzheimer's program, kind of tell the team more about all of that, because you got a lot going on.
Yeah. So about 3 years ago, I left the facility that I had been independent at for about 15 years. I'm in Fallbrook, California. My facility is, and partnered up with a martial arts master and put in, they're like all individual suites in one business. So we have martial arts, and then one suite is kickboxing and spin. Then we have a suite that is boot camp and TRX classes, Zumba, Kaya Fit, and then 2 suites that are Nautilus machines, free weights, functional training equipment. And my partner, just before the Salt Lake City or the Park City retreat, said, "I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore." So I had to make a decision. Did I want to move forward and take full control of the facilities? I had married actually a year ago, the 13th, 2 days ago, and we'd moved to
anniversary.
Thank you. We moved to San Clemente, and I was like kind of going to 4 days a week and not coming in quite as much instead of 6 days a week. When my partner said that, I knew that this was going to be, again, more of a commitment for me. I have 5 independent contractors, trainers that I mentor and work with, and they are a fabulous team. So when this division happened, and you know, I'm now very excited about it, and my team is very supportive. My clients, the members are really excited, and I tell them that, you know, Dan, my partner, he just wants to focus on what he does best, which is martial arts. He just is done with the whole gym thing, not his world. And so I will be taking that part over. So like I said, Friday I signed the lease, the new lease in my name alone, and taking over all the equipment payments and all the financial responsibilities of the facility. So I've also been working on a new Alzheimer's program before all this occurred, with UC Irvine, University of California at Irvine, and their bioscience department, and particularly the Dean of Bioscience. And they have a MIND program that works with people with mild cognitive impairment. And through recent research that has been done at Wake Forest and other countries as well, there is some new studies that show how you can actually reverse the tau protein plaques that build up in the brain through a specific type of exercise. So I've taken that exercise along with nutrition and a social aspect and designed a program that UCI got really excited about. So I had to kind of put this on the back burner when I was going to go full on with the facilities, my training facilities. However, I think it's all going to work. So like I said, I'm now looking at the ketosis, the ketogenic diet part of the nutrition side of this, and the research that's done with that. And then, like I said, my daughter I'm expecting my first grandbaby.
That's awesome.
With that move, that's happening as well. So that's kind of all the chaos that's been going on in my life right now.
That's a big deal. Hold on, I've got folks texting me saying that they don't have the link for the call. So I'm going to forward this again to the team. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for sharing, Janine. I know you have craziness because you're moving and stuff. Any way that we can support you currently? Are you having any specific obstacles that the team could support you in or strategize with you?
I think that the Facebook page has been great. I've posted a couple of things and gotten really good responses back. So I really plan on utilizing that a lot. My latest one was about the mats. I'm looking for flooring. Mm-hmm. I got a name from Julie at Todd's, the flooring that they used, and Jen, the other Jen, the scheme Jen.
Jen Lockwood, the other Jen L.
Yeah, who would use the horse mats.
Yeah.
I actually have a few of those, and that was one of my considerations. I kind of like the interlocking. Mm-hmm. They just, I don't know, they seem like they make sense to me. So I'm kind of looking at the flooring right now is a big addition.
Good. Those questions are great for the Facebook group. Hey, Mike, as we get a little bit closer knit after retreat, everybody understanding kind of one another's business, if you have specific questions about your business, that's when you would use the email threads to send that out to our group. So the Facebook group is the entire mastermind, P10, Institute, all of the platinum level. So if you need something like flooring, something that you want a whole lot of responses to, or something that you need quick responses to, the Facebook group is a great place to put that out. But if it's more intimate, specific to your business, and you want to consult, hey guys, as y'all know, I'm working on this program with Alzheimer's. I've hit these roadblocks. Any suggestions or any ideas for me? That's when you'd want to send those through the TD5 at Google Groups email. Because I don't know if you guys are Lara.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
No worries.
Okay, no, that's good to know. And how do I access other than replying all, the ones that I've seen? How do I access that email?
Yes. So reply all, but it's just TD5 dash, I think it's, I don't know, mine just comes up, TD5 mastermind at googlegroups.com. So you'll see that email address. If you save that into your address book,
Great.
then that's the one that we'll all get.
Okay.
Cool.
Perfect.
Awesome.
That's great. Very helpful.
Thanks for hopping on vacay, Janine.
Yeah, on my anniversary trip.
Yes. So we understand if you hop off early, I will send a recording. But the next person on the call, was that you, Susan, or was it Jason?
Susan and Jason.
It was Jason. Jason, are you there?
Hey, how are you?
Good. So Jason, welcome to TD5. You want to kind of do the same thing that Janine did, so everybody can kind of get to know you a little bit better and your background and kind of where you are currently. I know you also have some big things happening. Jason is also located in Orlando. Do you know Judy, Jason?
No, Judy, where you located?
Judy Isaacson in our group. She's located in Orlando as well.
Oh, no, I'm not familiar.
Okay. I can't remember. Her business is like Workout 3629 something. I think it's the zip code. Anyway, please connect with the team. Tell us who you are, what's happening.
Well, I'm Jason. I have been a trainer for, 17 years now. I got my start right out of college with Bally's, and I outgrew that pretty quickly. So I started, I don't know if you were familiar with the franchise Fitness Together. I opened a couple of those up in Orlando and Winter Park, and outgrew those. And then I built Winter Park Health and Fitness. That was my first location. Loved it. Very successful there. And a year ago, I opened up CTX. And CTX is a much more gritty brand. We have CrossFit teams, strongman teams, powerlifting teams out of that location. Everything's covered in chalk. It's a lot of fun. And now I am trying to open up more of a nationwide brand of personal training. I'm making my website a membership-only site, and then I want to do a lot of online training from there. I want to take a step back, kind of start a family. I'm flying to Chicago from next Friday through the holiday, and I plan on getting engaged Christmas Eve on Soldier Field.
Congratulations.
Wow.
That's exciting.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and you know, most of the decisions we make are for girls. So I want to take a step back from all my training and spend more time with her. So I got involved in this so I can help build a nationwide brand. I'm very familiar with Orlando, Winter Park, but I'm not familiar with Irvine, California, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and South Dakota Bluff, Montana. So I figured I'd ask for help.
Glad you did. What specifically, I know you're looking to kind of partner and align yourself with other businesses and folks that share your avatar. What are the specifics that you're looking for support from the team on, Jason?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, starting any business is hard, and it's draining mentally, physically, emotionally. And it's nice to hear from people who have been there before or are going through it at the same time. Kind of a metaphorical kick in the ass, so to speak. Aside from that, I'm not great at marketing. I'm not great at social media. I'm not great at stuff like that. So I'm looking to learn off of others and provide whatever insight I can give them as well.
Love that. And you're launching your new website in January, correct, Jason?
Yes, I am.
Cool. And do you already have a launch plan in place in terms of pushing this out?
Yes, I have a team doing most of that for me. We're actually looking at the marketing plan tomorrow. We're gonna do a lot of traveling. I'm gonna do some speaking, a lot of submissions, and then just hammer it as much as I can and build awareness.
So one of the ways that we can help you on the team is if you've got some content that you're using to push this out, if you could forward that, or when you're putting it on Facebook, tag us on that, or send the group an email saying, hey guys, I just posted this on my Facebook page. Would really love it if you guys could like it and share it. That's a great way that we could all be one another's launch pad, and we could all certainly do that for one another on the big things that we're working on.
That sounds great.
Cool. You can also use the Todd Durkin Mastermind page. Obviously, we want to not have tons of people pushing their products and programs on that, but by saying, hey guys, I just wrote this really cool article, give me your feedback. You could certainly do that on there as well.
That's awesome.
Anything else that we can help you with currently other than, tell you congrats. This is a great, exciting time in your life. It's a big deal. Super pumped.
I'm scared. That's it.
Well, you have a lot of married ladies on this call, and it's a great ride. It's always better to do it with somebody that you love and care about.
Yeah, she's a keeper.
Hope so, if you're going to do that. Well, thanks for being on, Jason. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next person who is on the call, and I think that's Susan. Are you there, Susan?
Am I unmuted?
Yes, but you're still super low.
Did that change it?
No. Come closer.
Now?
I can hear you better now.
Okay. All right. I think the call I had with you the other day really was what I needed. Now I'm working on getting a protocol developed for deciding when someone's ready to and really starting to change. I had this whole issue with a lot of rogue and creating their whole stuff that doesn't sort of conform with
Hang tight just a second, Susan. Whoever's on the phone, I think that's Rebecca. Rebecca, I'm going to mute you to see if I can get rid of some of this background noise. Mike, I'm going to mute you too. Yeah, there we go. All right, Susan.
So anyway, I'm going to try to sort of start shifting even the way we talk about the trainers and stop calling them trainers and start calling them coaches, to change their mentality, because as I thought about it, we've set ourselves apart in the market with our expertise in corrective work, and we're the best you can find anywhere at that. But I think it's been easy for my trainers, coaches, to start to look at their clients as being people who are sick, or disabled in some fashion. And so they kind of like keep this focus on on fixing things as opposed to getting them in action and getting them moving and sort of like mainstreaming them. So we have a meeting tomorrow, and that's really the focus that I'm going to take tomorrow is, I'm going to create some standards, and as people come in with the new year and it made so much sense to me. I just didn't know how to get started until I talked to you about it. To because when people say how much is personal training, most of the time their eyes either kind of like they flinch, or they're like, well, I'll start, I'll do it for a while, or I'll try it. And most of the time they do stay on, but I can't just keep hiring lots of new trainers just so that we can cover having 10 clients at 6 a.m. if we only have 5 clients at 7 a.m. So it makes so much more sense to find a way to group these people together.
So Susan and I had a call. I'm just going to kind of bring context to this conversation for the rest of the team. We had a call on Monday, and we had a long conversation about customer journey and trying to figure out kind of Susan's funnel. She does have a lot of one-on-one folks who stay a long time because she does corrective exercise, but giving, and this is, I think, a great tool for all of us. If you're doing training, when you're sitting down in that assessment process, having some benchmarks that folks need to meet to move to your next level of training, right? So that you can progress them down the path of that customer journey. So that was one of the things that we talked about that Susan was like, oh, that's a good idea. And so that's what she's talking about, of kind of setting up those parameters of when someone's coming in, painting that picture for them, not selling them, but painting the picture of how you're going to solve their problem long term and how you're going to progress them and get them back to functioning at the level that they want to function ultimately.
It gives them a sense of making progress and being successful.
Yes, and it's concrete.
Yes.
It's measurable.
So that's going to be what I'm going to be working on over probably between Christmas and New Year's. We've already got a really cool assessment form. We've got a good assessment protocol. Now we just have to decide what the progression is for that.
Yes. Well, awesome. Ping the team if you need ideas, although I know we talked about several regarding shoulder and hip stability and mobility, because that's really where it's at. But cool. I'm excited. Susan's in her new place, enjoying her new vibe. I see Lara back there with her little wood wall. That's Susan's signature in her facility too. I love that. That's so cool. I told my husband, I showed him pictures. I was like, could you do this for me? He's like, no.
We did ours.
That's phenomenal.
Ironwood, and it's you have to paint the wall black, but the veneers are fairly thin. It's really not that big a deal.
Oh, that's veneer. You didn't actually use wood. Is that real wood on yours, Lara?
It's real wood, but it's skimmed off.
Super, I gotcha.
So they just cut it in the really, really thin depth.
Yes.
Is.
Gotcha.
And ours is, I forget where it's from, but ours is an old barn.
Cool. Anything else that the team can support you on, or can you check in with us on your Big 5? I know that you've accomplished some things that weren't on your Big 5 because it was kind of like, I don't know if this is going to happen or not in terms of assuming the space that you're in. But have you hit all of your Big 5 for the year that you did put down?
I haven't even gone back and pulled it back out because this year took such a wild and crazy turn. I went the first of the year trying to figure out what it looks like. We basically came from move into the holidays, and now we're trying this thing. I've already sold one today. This buy a gift card for $25 to gift somebody a month of group fitness. So we're going to do that and see if we can pump up group fitness that way, just get some people in to try it. If we can get them in, I think we'll get them hooked. And again, that sort of like also plays in with this expanding small group training so that we're able to expand our reach and be able to help more people.
And that goes back to our conversation of progressing people from PT and pushing them long-term into those groups. Sorry guys, my dogs are being obnoxious right now.
I want to have like group training because we have a really good group training program, I think. But that's for people, that's for anybody drops in, you don't know who's coming, whatever. And that's the thing I've got to try and impress upon my coaches is that I want to see a distinction between The small group training, which should be taking into account looking at somebody and going, oh, I know this person doesn't like this exercise, and I know this person isn't able to do that exercise, as opposed to group training where this is what we're doing today, because group training is a lot more expensive. It's $40 per person per session, small group. Group training is $85 in limited classes per month. So we want people to see that there's a lot more value to being in a small group if they can afford it.
Yeah, that is key. Making sure that you're providing a different value in your large group as opposed to that small group personal training higher rate.
That's the trick.
Can I ask a question? What is her limit of people in the small group and how many in her large group?
Large group can be, how many we can take hasn't been an issue before. We could take 10, 12, 15 people in large group.
Okay.
Small group would have to be 4 or under.
Okay. Yeah, you're similar to where I'm at with that. And with the large group, have you done like the 2-for-1s?
Well, we've just gone from it being roughly $20 per class to $85 per month, just to expand our reach.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that price point.
Right. Yeah, I'm not either. Sometimes you're putting a value on something, and sometimes I believe you're devaluing when you do that, and it doesn't always get the results that you would hope to get. And I'm big on partnering. That's why I asked about the 2-for-1, because I did that to get my group classes back up, is by doing a 2-for-1, because people, I'm big on doing the accountability partners.
Yeah.
And bringing them that way. So they get a price discount by coming in with their friend, but I'm still getting my same, amount, and then I get retention from that. So I kind of like that way to go.
Yeah, I think Susan I think you are gonna get some traction with that once you guys set up those benchmarks and parameters and pushing people through progressing them. I do think that you will build that up, Susan.
And I think the coaches will see, basically I've got to get a real strong buy-in from them tomorrow in the meeting too.
Are the coaches writing each of the programs for like the small group, or is it like one set program for the month and you have, this is what our small group training is going to do, or is it varying on the coach and the
large group? Our group training is the same program for the month.
Okay.
Small group will be very basic, depending on, because up until we made this change, group training was TRX instructors. Their knowledge base just wasn't that great. So now we're trying to cover almost everything with certified personal trainers. So the trainers of these small groups can manage what they know that these people in these groups, in the smaller groups, the 2 to 4, what they're capable of, what they like, what they don't like, what they need, that kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
I was listening to a podcast this morning, and I don't even remember who the guy was, but he was being interviewed, and he kept referring to group personal training, and that's just one of those phrases that just sets me on edge. If it's a group, it isn't personal training. We charge a lot of money for personal training per hour, and I want to make sure that people understand that group training is group training.
Right.
You pay. There's a reason you pay more for it.
Right.
Well, keep us plugged in, Susan. I know you've had trying to just get a little bit of air, but keep us plugged in as to how it's going. I also want to know what happens with that trainer of yours.
Yeah. Will do.
All right, we're going to move on. I think Max was on next.
Yes.
What's happening, Max? The Facebook Live man. Looking all nice in your suit, all dressed up in your fancy event, man. That was like live music in the back. I was like, dang.
Yeah, well, it's just the theme of the event was wellness through gratitude, and we really just wanted to thank our clients. They make us who we are. Without them, we don't have a business. So that's something that I started when I was doing one-on-one training by myself. And we just kind of continued the tradition as we've gone into the whole studio space. So It worked out really well. Everyone felt the love, and it was just a warm environment, very positive. And we got a chance. We were able to, feed them some great food. It was a wonderful location, and also we gave them awards. We celebrated their accomplishments throughout the year, so we reminded them of how far they've come along. But at the same time, it gave me an opportunity to kind of give a Fitz the Max State of the Union address where we wanted to focus on what we are going to do in 2017. And, I remember our conversation about what we talked about with the referral thing. I had to do it. I went up there and I asked for it, and it worked out well. The people came by after the event. They were like, oh, we're going to send some people your way. And so I kind of went with my gut on that one and rolled the dice, and it worked out. So, but at the same time, I'm still going to meet with people after one-on-one in an intimate setting to kind of drive home the point that you were talking about as well. So so I think that's going to pan out really well. I already got some appointments lined up for that, because my goal is, again, to invite people out to one-on-one and to let them know all the things that they've done throughout the year, go over a recap, and then also talk about what their goals are for 2017 and figure out how we can support them on that. And then to go in and introduce to them our event that's coming up next, which is going to be our grand opening, being that it's going to be our first year anniversary. I figured we could kind of spin it as a grand opening. So at that point in time, we'll just give them an opportunity to invite their friends and their family members and to get in on the quote-unquote pre-sale value for our group classes, because group is starting to gain some traction, some momentum, is what I really want to do, is what I feel passionate about. So we're doing whatever we can to facilitate that.
Nice. In terms of your big five, Max, for the year, I mean, I think you've hit all of them. Yes?
Yeah, just about. I mean, actually, I'm still wearing it here, and just about all these things that I've hit it. If I didn't hit a home run, at least it was a double. So I've addressed a lot of things. As of today, the website that I've been wanting to really redo, we're able to do that. It's live now. I feel good about it. I feel confident about it. It's great because it was optimized for SEO. So that's always done well for us, but now it was about being able to convert more. When people go on the site, giving them a much friendlier experience for them to be able to easily detect what the services that they're looking for and to show them how we can help them. So yeah, again, I'm really excited about that, and I'm glad it's off of my shoulders. Goodness gracious, over. So I'm excited about that. I feel good. And we're just figuring out different ways to do some more guerrilla marketing. One of the things that I'm doing, I wanted to do a direct mail campaign because we've done it, but we haven't done a lot of those. Direct mail can be expensive. So we're just trying to figure out ways to kind of cut down the cost of that so we can funnel that money into other things like more online type of marketing. So what we did was we went to like Walmart. My wife, she bought these little magnets and put them behind the business cards. And then one of the trainers and I, we just actually got back from that. That's why I was driving. We put the cards right on top of the mailbox. And I did it myself the other day because I couldn't get anybody to go with me at that day. And I was just like, well, I got to do something. I wanted to be active. But I found that having the other person in there with me allowed me to get a lot more cards out there. I mean, we knocked out about 300 cards in about 20-something minutes. So now what I plan on doing is I'm going to see if I get the whole team involved. And we might just spend like 2 hours doing that and see how many places we could get. If we could get 3,000 out there to 5,000, that'd be even better.
I like that, Max. Just as a heads up, first of all, I love the aggressiveness because you got to get out there and get into the community. But I know that the return, the ROI on direct mail and that type of stuff is low. So I love your magnet idea because it attaches to the mailbox. Just thinking about relevancy, if you change the business card, putting something that's relevant to the new year, or maybe it's an invitation to the grand opening, or it has a coupon or something on that, that's going to incentivize that person to reach out to you other than just a business card. Is that what y'all did? Or is it just?
Well, yeah, we put out the business card as a tester. I'm recreating like a flyer, kind of, more towards what you're saying in terms of, something that's more relevant to what's happening now and the grand opening in the new year, and tying that and have like an aggressive offer. So we're on that track. So I think we're on the same page when it comes to that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that you get some
Absolutely.
return on that.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Could you send the group the link to your new website so we can all look at it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll do that today.
Would love that. Did you keep the video, the length that you had sent out to the group initially? Did you keep
Say
that
that
video?
again?
The video that you had sent out the link to a couple months back as you were working on your website, the video was, I think, like 10 minutes long. Did you keep that length on your website? I thought it was great. Oh no. Max, your sound is out.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't think about putting it on the website. I don't know why, but yeah, I probably should put that on the About Us page. You know, that probably would be a
Yes.
good addition.
Oh yeah. I would definitely put that.
Yeah, great idea.
Well, proud of you, Max. Had an awesome year, about to turn 1, and has accomplished so much. So thanks
Thank
for
you. Thank you.
being on the call and being a good teammate, and looking forward to a good 2017. I'm looking forward to y'all getting that annual roadmap, but we'll talk about that at the end of the call.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for all your
Awesome.
help.
Absolutely. We're gonna move on. I think Mike, or no, Rebecca was next. Rebecca, I'm unmuting you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello?
So welcome. We can hear you.
Yay.
So if you could, just like Jason and Janine, kind of give the team an opportunity to get to know you and your business and where you are in life. Obviously, you're a mom, but kind of give us the skinny on who is Rebecca and where is she now?
Well, let's see. That's a very good question. Right at this very moment, I'm in my new studio trying to get everything painted and finished. And that's where I'm that's where I'm at now.
Okay.
But as far as where my journey, I've been a coach for 10 years. We've had our place for 5 years. We are moving into a new place, hopefully this weekend, if everything is ready to go. And I'm a mom of an 8-year-old and a 2-month-old. And I think for the longest time, I have been in a mindset of I'll just do it myself, and realizing that I can't do it myself. I'm actually learning to delegate and learning how to let go. And what I'd like to call a recovering perfectionist. So this is kind of very challenging for me and hard for me to do, but I know that I won't get any further, go any further in my career and business if I don't trust in other people. I've had a coach before and it ended very badly in a very short amount of time. We were actually quite good friends, and she had an idea to take over the business and not really participate in our core values and see how things were. My vision on things. She had her own vision, and so it was the same year that my mom passed away, and so that year was kind of rough. And so this is more of like a kind of new beginnings and learning to trust again. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'm very hopeful of this new place and the team that I have got going with me, and learn from my past mistakes for sure. Trusting people, and so that's where I'm at right now.
So Rebecca, you said your team, you do have other trainers that are coming with you to this space?
I have an admin person. She's been a client for 3 years, and she totally sees my vision and where we want to go. And she is more of the marketing, Facebook, social media, going out there type person that I just simply either didn't have time to do, or the stuff that just kept getting put on the back burner for one reason or another. I also work at Costco. I've been there for almost 20 years. Someday I'd like to leave, but it's kind of a one of those security blanket things with the insurance and all that stuff that we just haven't really left yet. And then we have hired a coach. He's more in the internship phase right now, but all my clients seem to really respond well to him, and he works for a chiropractor for Gonstein Chiropractic, so corrective exercise is kind of his specialty, and working with injured clients and that sort of thing. So works well with our population and what we work with as well.
Nice. So, Rebecca, I know that you have just joined the group and obviously haven't had an opportunity to do a big 5, but was it on your goals for this year to get into this new space, or this just happened upon you?
It was our goal because the place that we were at, our lease was up at the end of the year.
Okay.
And I knew I didn't want to stay in that location. So it was a goal to find a spot that would be a little bit bigger. And we are moving from a 1,200 square foot space to a 3,000 square foot space. And so it's pretty cool. It's very exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting. So in terms of rent and whatnot, your overhead is going up. Yes?
It's going up by about $700.
Nice.
Yeah, the place we were in before, the tiny little 1,200 square foot space, was about $21 square foot. And where we're at now is $11 square foot.
Nice.
For bigger spot and more visibility. We're actually right across the street from the Costco I work at. And so next to a dealership, next to a major mall. Don't know why it's a lot cheaper, but we went with it, and it's awesome.
Well, I know that you're trying to get the doors open as quickly as you can. Did you get kind of a suspension on when the rent is due? Did they give you some downtime, some lead time to fix up the space, or you're paying rent right now?
No, they were great. We just had to put first month and last month's rent down before getting the keys, but we don't have to pay rent again until April 1st.
Nice.
So we have a lot of time.
Give that first quarter to kind of get your legs under you so you can start running.
Absolutely.
In terms of your team, are you doing a trade with your admin person? Is that kind of what you're doing? I think it's smart if you are.
There is an exchange in funds. She still pays for her membership, and I pay her for her hours worked. So that's kind of how we're still having that transaction money.
Gotcha.
On paper.
And then your coach, the corrective exercise guy that's interning, is he going to be an IC or an employee?
I'm not quite sure how to handle that, because if he's an IC, does that mean that he has his own rates? He's not really a part of the whole payment system that we have for our clients. Other than having him as employee, he follows. I know it can kind of go both ways. You're still part of a team, but we're paying you as an IC. But I'm not quite sure how that really can work. If we can be an IC, that'd be great. But and I forgot her name, but she has like 5 ICs. So I don't know how. That'd be cool to see how she that.
Yeah, just so you know, there's a lot of information on the Mastermind website on this topic. In our group, we have several people that have ICs at their facility. I know Mike has all employees at his facility. It works great for his model. It's just clarity on what you want in your business. Andrew might be a great person to kind of speak to this since he's the most recent one kind of figuring out this topic. Andrew, you have any thoughts for Rebecca?
Yeah, it kind of, I mean, well, for me, it kind of goes both ways with it. Yes, they're ICs. If they're doing their own type of program, which they're allowed to do, they could charge their own rates. If it's a program that you're involved with, I mean, I usually pay a flat rate for that, and I pay the ICs if they want to run that class. It would be this flat rate for running that class. But then they have the opportunity, if they want to develop something else on their own under the facility, they could charge their own rates. But when it is with our group membership, that for people who come through our doors and it's, they're paying the facility directly, then I give them like a set payment rate. So,
okay, very cool.
I think that's okay. Jen, I know it could kind of go both ways, but
yeah, I mean, you have to be real careful because there have been a couple people in the mastermind that have been audited on this topic and back taxed. So, and both of them, P.S., lived in the state of Missouri, which I don't think we have anybody in our group in Missouri. But apparently, if you go out to Missouri, they're like hammering down on this stuff. You just have to get clarity on which way you want to go in your business, Rebecca. I know for me personally, I've always done ICs in my business. It's a real expense to the business in the beginning of growing your business to go employees because you're having to pay for workman's comp, you're having to pay Social Security taxes, all those different things, and it varies state to state. But that's another thing, and I know we talked about that, Rebecca, on the phone, of getting clarity on where it is you want to go. The great news for you is that, are you going to come out to the retreat, Rebecca?
I really I want to. I really do. I've talked about it with my husband, and the problem that we would have is with our newborn, and having that would be the only thing. And so we're trying to work it out with his mother-in-law. She lives about 30 minutes away, so it would be about getting our other daughter off to school on time, and because my husband wants to come. That's the thing. He wants to come with me. So if we do that, then it would be a matter of getting the kids arranged and that sort of thing. So
I'm going to highly recommend that you get to be there. And if it doesn't work out logistically and your husband has to stay behind, I mean, I know that would stink for you guys, but it's really critical for two reasons that you come to the retreat. One is to really connect with the team face to face. And two is so that you can step away from your business because you're grinding right now and you've been that way for a while. Stepping away and getting some clarity on working on your business is going to pay dividends for you, Rebecca, especially before your rent kicks in. It's in February. That's before your rent kicks in. You'll still have some lead time to push out some new ideas that'll come to you at the retreat. But, I really would love to see you there. I think it would be a smart move for you.
Okay. I'll be there.
Yes.
I'll be there. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
That was easy. I worked with my own children.
We'll figure it out. So it's just, I know I have to go. I haven't been to any type of group or mastermind for, I think it's been since my mom died 2.5 years ago. It's been that long. So, I need to go out and recharge the batteries and I feel that I've gotten really serious and I don't like it. I mean, I like it, but at the same time, it's like I seem to have lost that way of, I don't know, kind of have fun, or I don't know.
You've been grieving. I remember our conversation. I know you've been grieving. Rebecca started her business for her mom, and unexpectedly, it was unexpected how quickly you lost your mom.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So it would be good for you to come to a safe place to get some support with some folks who are just as passionate and empathetic as you are, and, hold your hand and be your cheerleaders and help, push you to that next level that I know you want to get to.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry, Rebecca. But I'm excited to have you as a part of the team And I think this is a good thing for you. So I'm excited to see what 2017 brings you.
Heck yeah, me too.
Well, we are going to move on. I know I think Mike was next on. Was it Mike or was it you, Lara? I don't know who. I'm looking.
I think it was Mike. He can go.
Mike. What's up, superstar?
Hey, how's it going? I don't have any energy today. You're going to have to pick me up.
Oh, no. Don't tell me you're getting the...
Joke. That was a joke.
Oh, I was like, geez, what happened? Mike is my Energizer bunny. He starts talking about his business plan. He's like, yeah. Like he's going to come through the phone at you. I love it.
That makes me... Thanks, Jen. Almost as big a smile as you have on your face right now. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So we had a great conversation that you agreed to share with the group in regards to business benchmarks. So guys, get your booty, as Todd would say, get your booty nice and straight up in your chair and your pen and paper in hand, because Mike's about to drop a serious knowledge bomb on you.
We'll give everybody about 10 seconds to go ahead and grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, take some notes, because this is important information.
Yes.
I'll go back to my past life. I was an educator for 12 years, as maybe some of you know. Had an opportunity to transition athletic director into a principal. And then my neighbor who owned a sportsplex talked to me about being their athletic director. And we had a club inside of the sportsplex that was called Fitness Premier. And at that time, I saw myself, kind of moving down the ladder with the sportsplex because it was so much of a bigger job than I expected. But I saw myself somewhere in the sports industry as far as fitness goes. And fortunately enough, it happened to be Fitness Premier, like I said. Jason Markowitz, who used to be in this group, is now my business partner. And he started with Cardinal Fitness 2003. And he's kind of learned what works, what doesn't work over time. And I can tell you, fast forward till now, we've kind of learned what doesn't work and kind of created, a plan, which typically every business needs at the start of, starting any type of business, whatever it takes. If you don't have a plan, typically you're going to fail well over 90% of the time. So it all starts at the front door. So we base our business off three things that are called benchmarks. And the benchmarks are how we hold our staff accountable. And if we hit these three benchmarks month over month over month, all the other fluff and stuff is going to take care of itself. You're going to make money. You're going to keep clients. You're going to retain clients. You're going to retain staff because they're following our systems, because we hit every single month, because they're trained correctly from the beginning of their employment with us. So let me explain our benchmark. So at the front door, let's just base, the front door traffic is typically, door swings. Someone comes in for a gym membership. Typically, they're going to say yes or no to a gym membership, right? But at the same time, that process now becomes a sales process for all of us. So you want to convert them into some sort of member. Okay, so at the front door, we track how many people walk through our doors, but at the same time, how many people are buying a membership that day. Okay, so we put their information into an iPad, which is convertible right into our software. So we're capturing their information immediately before the tour actually happens. We're not writing it down on a sheet of paper. We don't have to do that. We put it right in an iPad, which is convertible right into our software. So our front door, before we even do anything, we now capture their information, because there is a slight chance, as we all know, they're going to say no, and they're going to shop around. In the smaller markets we're in, there really is nowhere else to go. So typically they're not going to shop around. But before the tour actually happens, like I said, we have their information. Now we sit them down, we sell them a membership, and they say yes. When they say yes, our goal is to book 80% of those people that buy a membership into what we call a fitness assessment. So let's just base it off of 10 for easy math. So we want to book 8 out of those 10 people into a fitness assessment, because we know that some people are going to say no. But there hasn't been 1 month this entire year where our clubs have fallen below 80%, because again, it goes back to training your staff effectively. And if our clubs are hitting the 80% book, we know that 60% of those people that book the fitness assessment are going to show up to that initial assessment. So the first two benchmarks, you have 80% book, we have 60% show. So 6 out of those 10 people are going to show up to your fitness assessment. Now our systems are so spot on and so driven and so sales energized and gets people to buy because our program works. They're going to close 60% of those people that show up to some sort of service. And it's about 90% group training versus 10% personal training. And I can explain that in the future why we do it that way. But at the same time, now we have those 3 benchmarks. The 80% front door, we're going to sell them a membership. We're going to book them into an FA, which is a fitness assessment, and we're going to have them show 60% of the time, and we're going to close them 60% of the time. So all your fluff and stuff is going to happen if your employees hit those benchmarks. So if you have a business and you don't know your benchmarks, it doesn't have to be necessarily what we have, but they work for us. And you should know your numbers every month. You should sit down with your staff and say, here's our benchmarks. What are we going to do to hit these benchmarks? Because if they're not, like Jim Collins says, wrong seat on the bus. If you have people selling memberships that can't book an FA, they shouldn't be selling memberships. If you have trainers that can't keep clients, they shouldn't be training. If I have a staff that can't do something, I'll walk them down the street to McDonald's and pick up an application for them because they're not going to be working for me. If we don't hit the benchmarks, you will not have a successful business. This was a big eye-opener for me last month when I sat down with our P&Ls over the course of the 12 months, and I have 3 locations that I'm managing. If we hit these numbers, holy cow, the trends are there. The trends where you're falling short is when you're falling below the benchmarks. So now I can really manage these 3 locations amongst these 3 benchmarks: the book, the show, and the close. It's that simple. It's true that simple.
I love it. The first question that I had for you that I think some other people, while they get their hands around the knowledge bombs that you just dropped, how the heck did you guys figure out that, hey, 80%, 60%, 60% works for us? Like, if you would have just told me you had a 60% close rate, because I know my close rate, and mine's significantly higher, but I'm pulling from a smaller pool of people, right? So how did you figure out those specific benchmarks were the right targets for your business?
So good question. We used to work with a company called Virtual Fitness Planner, VFP, I think out of the East Coast, and we had a consultant named Ron Alterio that really helped us develop these systems over time. So earlier I stated that we've kind of tried some different things. We figure out what works, what doesn't work. And now we've really focalized our business and going back to those 3 benchmarks. So we've tried different numbers, but we know some people say no. We get it, okay? But those are really strong numbers to stay under. But if they're not at that point, Jen, typically it goes back to the person isn't building value and why having a coach is super, super important. Because we know some people aren't going to say yes, but if they have a better understanding of what to do when they come in on their own, we know the life of their gym membership is going to go from a month and a half to possibly 4 to 6 to maybe even 12 months. So we're trying to retain as many members as possible, as well as sell service, which overall is a win-win for everybody. But if they come in without a fitness assessment, we know they're probably going to cancel within the first month and a half, because now they're just spinning their wheels already, and they're going to lose that instant motivation because they're just a ticking time bomb already. So therefore, that initial assessment is basically our business model. If they show up, we know they're going to stay longer, and we also are going to convert them into some sort of service because our systems work. And our salespeople are very, very good at it across the board. We call them our fitness managers. And we track on a monthly basis. We get on a weekly call where we report our numbers. And you don't want to be that club getting on the call where you're falling below the benchmarks. You don't want to get called out in the call. So it's almost like an internal competition amongst the clubs as well. I love it.
I love. So just to kind of recap, because I know Mike's business model is a little bit different than many of our business models, but you guys can figure out your own benchmarks when you run your profit and loss reports, which is what Mike was referring to, that he and the other business partners that he has call in and they share their profits and losses for their facility on that call, which I personally am really trying to push for our mastermind. I think having that number accountability would be a really good thing for each of us. But, you know, he's right. Like in my facility, for example, I'm a personal training studio, as are some of the other facilities, with no baseline memberships. But if I book someone for an assessment and they don't early cancel and they show up, my close rate is high. So it's, my benchmarks are measuring, I know how many fitness assessments I need to do per month and how many I need to close on. So you guys can pick your own benchmarks for your business based on the reports that you're running for your business. But Mike is so right. When you get tight on this stuff, it's phenomenal because you hedge off the problems, right? Where all of a sudden the cash flow is like, whoa, you know, something's wrong, and you're trying to figure out what's going on in your business. And you can make a course correction much quicker.
So Jen, I do want to kind of be a little defensive based on what you said a little bit ago.
Yeah, what's up?
No, anything wrong? You have specifically a lot of people on this call that are training studios.
Yes.
So we're not a training studio. We are a gym membership.
Yes.
So we don't have people coming in and saying, I need training, I need coaches. So the fact that we can close 60% of those people into service, that's saying a huge test, because we're not known as a training studio. We're known as a low price gym membership that offers additional services. So that we drive people through the door for 10, 20, or 30 bucks a month. We get them involved in some sort of service 60% of the time. So we're breaking even on membership, but we're creating revenue on service.
Yeah.
So we're profiting from 20 to 30,000 a month in our clubs because of our service. So if they don't show up to our fitness assessments, now our revenue is breaking even, and now I can't pay the bills for me and my family. This is how I feed my family. So that's why that first initial assessment is super, super important, not just from the service standpoint, but also the retention standpoint.
100% agreed. Yeah. If you heard me say something different, I'm sorry. Mad respect for you and your business models.
Your close percentage is higher. So people come into you looking for training. They don't come to us saying, I need a training. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. We don't get
that advantage. So it's an interesting dynamic, right? Because we've all worked in a club where, you know, at least when you're a gym, you have a pool of people to walk the floor and recruit from. Whereas in a training studio, you're busting pump to try to get people through the door. You know, they have to really be interested in it. So, you know, it can be said either way on that. But I would love to have a revenue stream of some general membership coming in through my door to make my numbers look a lot better.
Yeah, we got, you know, $30,000 to $40,000 a month in revenue for just membership alone, and our club's only, you know, 6,000 to 7,000 square feet. But we're in smaller markets. We're not your Planet. We're not your Play Fitness. We're not your large corporations nationwide yet. I use yet loosely. Once we do, then we live around the 800 to 1,000 members, and just to break even. So I'm fortunate to have a couple thousand members in my clubs. Typically because we have also super important is employee retention. You've got to keep your employees, because if you have your front door swinging both ways, both with members and employees, your members aren't going to stay because there's no relationships built. So spending time with my staff is the most critical portion of my job on a day-to-day basis. You know, getting them to the point where I feel like they need to be so they can be owner-operators. That's my goal. And that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. I'm actually at a different club right now training one of the operators on some of the things he's not improving on.
You shared some nuggets about specifically with your staff, Mike, the meetings that you do on a regular basis and how you've infused a lot of the things that you've learned from the mastermind with your team. Could you share some of that with the group?
Yeah, absolutely. I just started this about 4 weeks ago, actually, the Big Three. I do that every week. So we have our staff meeting every Friday, and in the staff meeting, we usually have an announcement, obviously, you know, where we're going to go in the next week, where we're at for the week. But then I'll always close out the meeting with, you know, you bring your Big Three for the next week. Okay, what are the 3 goals for it? We do a big 3 for an entire week. Okay, and typically it's usually 2 production goals and some sort of personal goal. I don't necessarily have to always use it as a business goal per se, because then you're just really, as a leader, you're always making it look like it's about the business, when it's truly about the relationship you're trying to create with that employee. So I like to have a rule of having 2 production goals and then also 1 personal goal. So with that being said, I utilize Big 3 on a weekly basis, and then we start with how they met their previous Big 3 goals. And if they didn't meet it, they just converted over to the next week. If they did meet it, we set 3 new goals at the end of the meeting. And I've been doing that for 4 straight weeks now, and our staff loves it. Holy cow. And then I send them personal texts, usually once, twice a week. Where are we at? How's it going so far with this? So that actually reaching out to them tells them that I truly care about their goals, which that's my job. I should be caring about their goals. Yes, I want to run a successful business, but at the same time, I also want to keep my employees. So when they're eventual leaders within these clubs that we're going to be opening, they're doing exactly what I teach them, so we can duplicate this model. So we're so much more than a gym membership facility. I mean, yes, we sell a ton of memberships, but we're creating leaders. We're developing leaders. And it's I don't have to work. I get to work. I love it. Love it. And I get to do what I do because of not just a passion I have, but with the background of being a teacher, I'm good at it. So I guess, and I'm confident. And I believe in our systems. And Jason Markowitz is the one that I told you about, the partner that I had who used to be in this group. He's developed these systems over time, and I truly believe in them. So I just want to spread my knowledge and grow my wings. I'm never going to fly away, though. I'm going to stay where I'm at.
Okay, good. We don't want you to fly away. The last thing that I want you to share with the group, because I think it's a pretty big deal, is that you're going to actually fully own your facility in May. And kind of explain, I know some folks still don't quite grasp the business model that you have. It's so unique. Explain how that happened.
So I guess Jason's fortunate enough to have, what they call a backer, a guy that has a lot of money. And we are fortunate enough to have that. So now that we've built up enough revenue, that now we have enough money in the bank to open more locations. So as we expand, as we grow, we open up these corporate stores that are called Fitness Premier still. But we'll put one of these owner-operator type people that I'm training at these different locations and give them their own store for $0. So we're putting them into a business model that they've learned over the course of the length of their job so far with us, $10 an hour, $12 an hour, whatever their hourly rate is. They'll just convert to a new club, run that business, and then after so many months, after now it's a profitable business, we sit down with them and say, okay, month over month, here's where the club's at. It's now profiting 10 grand a month, which with the EBITDA, you multiply it times 3.5 times. So about 350 grand. So now they can buy us out for 350,000 and go to the bank. And we now have a relationship with all the US banks, and they love this so much that they've already approved this model. So now we can send a 24-year-old kid with no credit history. We'll write it for them, and now they just put their name on the loan, and now they start paying that off over a 10-year loan, and now they're a 10%, now they're 100% owner of that club, and all they got to do is learn our model, and they don't have to put any money down because we've taught them the systems. We do everything on the back end, and from the billing standpoints, the payroll, and all they got to do is be in the club, be visible in the club, and create relationships with members, and keep members, of course. And then train their staff effectively. So if I'm saying
you put in sweat equity without the monetary equity.
Yeah, that's option A, and that's probably about 90% of our future clubs, just because people don't have $350,000 laying around, to open a gym with an existing business model. Completely eliminates all the guesswork of what to do, even where to start. All the hard work's done. We've got it all done, so now we just got to put these operators in place to do so. So hopefully that answered your question. That's kind of what we're doing. So in May, I've been in the same location now for 3 years, and I took a club that was making money, but I started out just as a trainer. Jason wanted me to train on part-time on the side. I did it, and I became very, very quickly. I told him what I needed to make because I was a school teacher, and very quickly became, you know, an operator, but he gave me a 10% ownership in the club. So at the end of the month, I got a nice bonus. So if the club does well, I do well. Well, in May, I just got approved for all the loan, all the stuff. It's going to be when the tax year's up. So I'm going to buy that club 100% outright. And my income's going to go up close to $50,000 to $60,000 a year. So I'm like, I can't even put a word on how happy I am just to have this opportunity, because Jason, I mean, he's giving me the club. He's making me, you know, a partner, and he's actually losing income. He's getting a check every month, and I'm doing all the work. So he's the smart one. I'm not, but I'm going to be in the same shoes as him eventually, because I in turn are going to do the same thing for my employee now, probably in about 5 years, because I'm going to put her on as a profit sharing. I'm going to give her 10% of the club, and then she's going to run the day-to-day so I can do what I'm doing today, still go clubs to club and train and develop, and eventually have 3, 4, 5, 25 locations. Because I'm 40 years old. I'm not gonna be doing fitness assessments when I'm 50 and 60 years old. I want to do what Jason does, which is sit at home, drink a cocktail, and get a check in the middle of the month.
I think that's what we all want to sign up for. Well, congrats, Mike. I appreciate all of your shares with the team. You're definitely a valued member. I want to open up the floor. If anybody has any specific questions for Mike or things that you want clarification on, please speak up.
Hi, Mike. When you hand over one of these locations, do you collect like a franchise royalty after that?
If it's a corporate club or it's a regular, like if you're a person, you come in and you open up the club, obviously you're a franchisee. Yes. So I probably should have said that. We are now approved to become a franchise. Yes, there'll be a royalty that's paid back, because again, we're doing all the back end work at our corporate office, and you're following our FTD to follow all of our business. And it's about 3% of the gross revenue month over month.
Okay.
So as long as the club does well, you're getting a guarantee. We're going to get our guarantee, which is about 3%. But at the same time, all the hard work is done because we have the systems in place. All you got to do is run the clubs.
And what support do you offer them ongoing after they take over the club?
Oh, it's insane. It's day to day. Like we get on these weekly calls. You have day-to-day calls with your. First, you have to learn the model, which is typically an 8 to 12 month process. So you have to come to. Right now, it's Illinois and Indiana, where we have 6 locations. But once you learn the model, you won't even really need much help other than the weekly calls. But we're always available. That's going to be my job moving forward when we open franchises, doing all the traveling from club to club.
Gotcha.
Anybody else?
If you're familiar with like Massage Envy, Jason also has 4 Massage Envies within the Illinois territory. So he's 100% familiar with the franchisee model. And that's kind of how all this started, where he understands it. And really your cost is very minimal, especially when you're coming in with $0 and making it a corporate club initially. It's just learning the systems takes probably the most amount of time.
Gotcha.
Anybody else have any questions for Mike?
Please.
I feel like down the road I might have some franchise plans, but not right now. I really liked what you were talking about that you do with the team, because I'm really focused for 2017. I have independent contractors, and I try, because I'm in 2 locations, I use the Facebook private pages, group pages, like we have a ton of girls. And they love it when I get on there and show a video of an exercise or something. So I need to be consistent. I'm trying to set up right now like 4 different each week, like every Tuesday I'm going to post, and I want like one Tuesday to be a video, one to be like a coaching video. Maybe one's going to be like setting goals, like you said, and then following up with them. So that was really helpful. I feel like that's a huge thing that's really what I want to do with my business, is coach my team. So thank you.
If I can give you advice at all, Laura, it's this. You have to invest time in your team. You have to. And I just had a meeting this morning with one of our operators in Bourbonnais. He's trying to do it all, and he's running himself ragged. And he's like, I'm the only one that knows how to do this. I said, whose fault is that? It's really your fault, because you have to invest time in your team. If you want them to get to where you are, you can't expect them to figure it out on their own. So even if it's just a half hour a day, an hour a day, 2 hours a day, whatever it is, as the business owner, our clock never stops because we're paid how the club does. So now you can duplicate yourself, but the only way you can do that is to coach your team where they need to be, where you expect them to be. So these weekly meetings like that I do are super important. But the best thing I'm a great listener, so I got to listen to their feedback, how the club's doing, what are some things we need to work on, what are some things we need to be trained on, because the only way I can get them developed is to hear what they need to work on. So they also come to the meeting with, lists of things that maybe they want to be trained on, developed on, coached on. I don't torture them. I nurture them.
Right.
I love that, Mike. That's a nice segue because Lara is up next.
No, yes,
Just
thank
keep
you.
going.
That's really like my big goal next year is the word listen is kind of the theme I picked, actually, just to really listen to my staff. I do feel like I have a really great staff. No one's really left at all since they've opened, but it's really where I think I can invest even more because they're the ones that are teaching so much more than I am. So my time needs to be spent on coaching them, like you said, just to be better and to learn how to really get that client retention rate. We're just a bar studio, so we're group classes all the time. So it's easy to see people slip through the cracks. But if I can get these girls to, stay on people, that's huge. But yeah, so that's kind of my big focus next year is just really investing myself as the coach of 9 different people. So.
Well, and you have some other big things going on too. I mean, how did your local bar instructor training go? And were you able to perfect some things? Because I know you've developed your manual and looking to push that continuing education program out there, or is that what you're still going with?
It went well. We just did an internal marketing. We marketed through our newsletter only, and we still had 8 people there, which was great. So, and I was very shocked at the response. We thought people were going to be coming that wanted to teach bar for clubs around the area. It was current clients of ours that just wanted to learn a little bit more the technique and be able to do it at home when they couldn't come to the studio. One of our clients is a teacher and wanted to teach her staff, like her coworkers as well. So that was really cool that she did that. But yeah, so it was really good. We're actually going to roll that out again in February. So,
And you're going to host it at your facility?
Yeah,
You're going to continue to host?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Now, yes. So we'll keep it local. We're in February because that's kind of probably one of those slower months as well on the weekends. So, so why not? So it went well. And biggest thing for me and my husband and I, we lived in 3 places this year. That was a little crazy. So we lived where the first studio was, then we moved to Ocean City where the second studio was, and now we're about halfway in between both. I live 2 hours now from the beach, which is where I am right now. And I just take a day trip once a week down here, which has been working out really well. And then I'm able to get to the studio closer to Baltimore, which just has so much more volume, and it always will because of the area. So in hindsight, it's good I lived here when it opened, but it was important. I think it's important for me to be closer to where there's more people coming through the door all the time. Even though I have a great staff in place there, I still need to have my face up there. So it's working out better. Like I mean, personally, like my marriage is better now because we're in under the same roof every night, which is huge. So this summer was it was nuts. But
the trade-off for Lara is she got to move in with her mother-in-law.
yes.
Who is unfortunately ill right now, which is part of the reason why y'all are. How is she doing?
Well, it's not really why we did. It's good we are, because we were able to help out. She's fine. You would never know anything was wrong with her. But she's doing well. She's never really been the type of person to have hobbies, and we had to talk with her that she needed to do other things and get out and enjoy life. So it seemed like it worked, because she's been actually going to a support group that offers like free massage, free yoga, like every day. So she's been doing that. So we haven't really seen her, which is good. Like we wanted her to live her life. So so it's good. I mean, I don't mind being there. I think my husband gets annoyed every now and then because it's his mom, but
Sure.
it's good, and it makes sense right now, and the location is so much better for us. So
So from turning back to the professional business side of things, I know you had a lot of things on your list for your big five. I think you hit them all for the year.
I did.
And then some, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to start working towards a second studio, like thinking about it, but it happened. So, yeah.
Yeah, you've had quite the whirlwind of the year, same as Max. I mean, in a year and a half going from no studios to opening two that are far away from one another is no easy feat. For those of y'all that aren't following Lara on Facebook, I think that she is doing a great job on her Facebook page of creating community. Whenever you do a video or you do a post, you always have great engagement with that. But you have some news to tell the group too, don't you?
Aw.
Do you want to tell them or you want me to?
I can tell that. It's fine. Well, I am excited, and I'll like obviously share what I learned, but I am going to be going in February to the Dave Ramsey thing, which is so expensive.
Nice.
But I mean, I'm excited about that. So I won't obviously be in Coronado because of that. It's in February. But I'm going to be taking a break from the team just to save money, since that is our goal. My husband's and my goal with living with his mom, really just knock out our student loans so we don't have to live like that. So that's kind of our goal. But I mean, I'm still going to be part of the
Institute.
So yes, so I'll participate on Facebook a lot, and you guys can just contact me too.
Bittersweet. It's bittersweet.
I know.
But I'll still be around. So
All right.
I'm glad I got to
Congrats on it.
meet. What's that?
I just said congrats on everything. You've done an amazing job, so it'll be cool to keep seeing your progress.
Thank you. It was a big year. It was a lot. It was a lot. We definitely grew really fast, but I guess that's kind of what it's all about, right? So.
Yep. You got to roll with that momentum.
Slowing down next year, but that's not going to happen. So it never happens that way.
You know, sometimes I loved this because last spring retreat, Todd said something that really resonated with me, because I feel like this is what I've done a good job at this year, which is sometimes you need to slow down to speed up. And slowing down means that clarity of, you know, instead of zigging and zagging, which I'm not saying that you are, but sometimes we all get so caught up in that grind and the feeling that we have to be busy and doing and going. And sometimes we need that pause, like a retreat, to step back, gain that clarity, and then move forward with that momentum. So slowing down isn't always a bad thing. And it helped reframe that in my brain, because I think we're all, to be an entrepreneur, you have to be somewhat type A, right? I mean, you're a doer, you're a goer, you're busy. And so sometimes when you're not doing 50 million things, you kind of feel like a failure. But we are going to miss you, Lara.
What's that?
I said, we're going to miss you.
I will miss you guys, but we'll see.
Anything that we can do to help you as you go roll into the new year? You're going to be pushing out any new programs that we can be your launch pad on, sharing?
No, I mean, I am really slowing down, like you said, which is good. I'm really cleaning up my schedule right now because my payroll is my biggest. I'm like trying to really like be smart with money right now, and my payroll is like huge. But the reality of it is I'm not really teaching that much because I've been so nice and let my staff do it. But I mean, I should be teaching.
Yeah.
So, and I've had to talk with them, actually, some of them this morning. You know, I was like, hey, like, I need to be there. I'm going to take one class from you. Like, we need to do this for the business. And they're cool with it. So, yeah, I think I've just realized, like, I mean, I really do love coaching them, but I also still need to be in the trenches a little bit. And I am really going to be trying to push one-on-one training because that is something we do not do. I personally don't like doing it. None of my staff does either. But it's worth it, I think, just to do a little bit, and because it's a big money maker. So it's not like I have to do it full time. So
instead of one-on-one, what if you did some technique classes that were smaller groups?
That is something I'm considering because we don't have anything for beginners. So if people call, it's not often that they do, but you know, they're like, I'm new to this. Am I allowed to do a group class? And, you know, we're always like, yes, you can. But it would be nice, I think, if I had a higher price point for somebody who's that's new, coming in the bar. That's, you know, it doesn't have to be a private class because I think it'd be hard to fill a full class of beginners. But if it's some kind of one-on-one thing, it's like how CrossFit like kind of gets people in the door. A lot of CrossFit places that are successful. I've been listening to Barbell Business a lot. They're a really good podcast. It's a CrossFit affiliate, but they do a really good job at getting new people in with and they have to like go through an introduction phase. That's a higher price point before they get into the group class. So I've been thinking, how can I integrate something that CrossFit does in a bar studio, which is interesting. So, but why not?
It. We're all more similar than we are dissimilar. You know, I mean, you know, the what is different, but our why and our who is very similar. So it's cool. It's cool to take components from those other businesses.
Yeah. But I do recommend that podcast if anyone's interested.
Yeah.
It's one of the another person in the mastermind recommended it. So she's like, I know it's CrossFit, but they have such like good knowledge on it. So it's good stuff.
How long does the podcast range?
Like
They're from like 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the name of it again?
It's called Barbell Business. It's two guys out of San Diego that do run a CrossFit gym. And I mean, they talk about like website, how to make your website really good, how to really get people in the door, how to do the launch programs and everything. So it's pretty good knowledge. So
nice.
I like it. Yeah.
Cool. Any other thoughts or shares?
Everyone in 10 more days of Christmas. Have a yeah. Spread your joy.
Yes. Shine your light.
Yes.
Well, cool. I think that's everybody on the call. I want to just close with a couple of announcements. Number one, please make sure that you guys are reading my weekly summaries. I made a poor assumption because I know my weekly summaries are long, but in case you didn't know, every single time we have this team call, so like this Sunday, I'm putting the next team call is always at the bottom of that email, okay? So the time and the date after we have one is on that email so that you guys can plug that into your calendar. And then I usually send the link for the call the day or two before the call. That's number one. Number two, please start making your plans if you are going to be going to retreat, which I'm strongly encouraging all you guys to do. That is January 20. No, sorry, that's mentorship. I'm going to both, so I'm getting confused. It's February. Let's see. I don't want to give you guys the wrong dates. It's February 10th, 11th, and 12th. So you'll be home in time for Valentine's dinner with your significant other. But encouraging you guys to fly in that Thursday night or Thursday afternoon before. I know Todd sent his email out saying that if you guys wanted to hang out at Fitness Quest 10, if you haven't had the opportunity to do that yet, certainly you can fly in earlier on Thursday and get a workout or a massage over at Fitness Quest 10. Todd's also working on something special for that afternoon, evening. So I want to encourage you guys, if you can, to please make sure that your flights get there in time for that. Lastly, the annual roadmap should be coming out next week. Texted with Todd a little bit yesterday. Also, I'm going to ask you guys, when you complete your annual roadmap, there'll be pieces that I'm really looking for you guys to share with the rest of the team. One is obviously your theme. Your big 5 for the year is going to be another one, because that's really what I'm going to coach you on for the rest of the year. Your 90-day wonders, your big 5, to help give you guys some direction and keep you, you know, on the right track. Obviously, I know sometimes in January, we have certain things that we put down that are goals, and that stuff changes throughout the year. Totally get that. But it's going to be important that you guys complete those exercises and then submit them to the team. As I'm getting my legs under me a little bit better, coaching you guys for almost a year now, well, 9 months, I'm looking for ways to give greater accountability to you guys in the group. So I'm going to be discussing that with the other coaches. But one of the things that I think would benefit the group tremendously is sharing our numbers. And I know that, you know, people kind of get icky about that, especially if maybe your numbers aren't great. We could start by just sharing your numbers with me, but at the end of the day, everybody has to know their numbers. You know, if you're in this group and you're looking to grow your business and get to the next level, which I know everyone is, it's really important that you know your numbers. And I know one of the reasons why you guys are in this group is for that accountability. I don't like doing the numbers. That's why I have someone that pulls those numbers and then I read those reports. And if you're somebody like me that doesn't like that, I strongly encourage you to get a good accountant or someone who is going to help you with that stuff. But we do need to know our numbers. I loved when Mike hit those, you know, just spouted out those benchmarks. It's amazing when you get your hands around your numbers, what that does for your business. And the way that I like to think about it is, you know, when you do have a new client coming in for an assessment, you do that assessment so that you can get their baseline numbers, so that when you come back and reassess them, right, in 3, 6, 9, 12 months, you know where they're improving and where they're lacking. And it's really the same thing for our businesses. So I get that sometimes in the beginning, or if your business isn't profitable at this point, sometimes it's hard to look at those numbers. No different than when you have an overweight client who comes in and gets their body fat and weight done and is like, they don't want to look at those numbers. But the reality is we need to know those numbers as a baseline so that myself and your teammates can help you get to the next level. I am always, just so you guys know, open to feedback, whether that's positive or negative. My job here is to help you guys get better. And so if you feel strongly about something that maybe we're not doing or doing too much of, would really value and appreciate your feedback on that stuff. So any comments on any of that stuff, guys?
It's all good. All good stuff.
Cool. Well, I cannot believe this. We're going to end this call 20 minutes early. I'm feeling guilty about it, and I don't know why, because it was like chock full of great info. Anybody else have any questions or anything that they want to get out to other teammates or comments? Nope. Well, guys, this is the last time that I'm going to see you and connect with you before Christmas or Hanukkah. So I want to wish you Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and looking forward to a great 2017. Please stay active on the threads. I know that we're all overwhelmed with emails and whatnot, but if you're doing something cool, if you have a light bulb moment, if a program's really working well for you, if you read a great book that you got an idea from, drop that nugget into an email for the rest of the team so that we can, you know, the whole point of this mastermind is the collective experience that we have and being able to, you know, make that learning curve not as steep. It's kind of like we all have like a little I call it like my secret sauce, right? My mastermind team was my secret sauce for opening my business and plowing forward. So thanks for all that you guys do every single day for the people that you serve and for your teammates. And I'm looking forward to creating a great 2017. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye, everyone.